If you've ever wondered how business mentoring works to help you grow your health or life coaching business, then you're in luck. On today's show, I'm talking all about how mentoring works to help you get better results and have more success in your coaching business. Let's dive in. Hi there, welcome to the Wholehearted Business Show. I'm Laura. I help health, life and spiritual coaches get more clients so they can generate more income and live their most aligned life. And today on the show, I'm talking all about how business mentoring helps you and how it works to grow a coaching business. Now, obviously, I am a business mentor. This is what I do. I help health and life coaches grow their coaching businesses. And I wanted to talk a bit about how mentoring actually works in practice and what it looks like so that you can get your head around it a bit more in terms of deciding if it's something that you want to access for you and your business going forward. And also just if you're a bit curious about how mentoring works. And again, it is very similar to coaching. What I tend to find is that coaching is slightly more passive and that mentoring is a little bit more directive. And I've talked about this on an episode of the show where I've looked at coaching versus mentoring, and I will link to that where you can check that out if you're interested in learning more from that perspective. So how does business mentoring work to help you grow your coaching business? I think the first thing is that, to put it really simply, you don't know what you don't know. And I think with business, there are two different components. I think there are the things that are innate and your intuition, which I'm going to talk about in a sec, but there's a whole lot of stuff in business that is not innate knowledge. It's not something that can be coached out of us. It's actually something that we need to learn or we need to figure out. And working with a mentor who is going to direct you and tell you based on their own experience, suggestions of what to do, that can be incredibly valuable and can have a really massive impact on your business. So for me, as a business mentor who has been a health coach, who is now running a business mentoring business, who previously supported businesses and organisations that were social enterprises, I feel like me being able to use my knowledge and skills and help you decide what to do in your business, how to take action, what actions to take. Because this is the thing, often it's like, someone just tell me what to do. Like I felt like that in my business several times. It's like, will someone just come along and just tell me what to do that actually works, please? That would be amazing. And that's what I feel mentoring can help you with doing, is just, here's what to do. Here you go. And here's what to do. Not only like, here's what to do generically, but here's what to do for your particular business and for your particular goals. Because often, you can get advice and stuff online, and I'll talk about this again as we go through. There's lots of free advice. Like this show is free advice, but what I can't give you in this is individualized feedback and individualized support that I can do when I work with someone in a high touch way. So you don't know what you don't know, and business mentoring can help you know what it is that you need to know so that you can take actions that are actually going to get results. Business mentoring also helps you save time and potentially avoid costly kind of detours and mistakes. So again, this is quite common with any kind of form of coaching or mentoring, but whether or not it's just through you taking more action because you've got that support and accountability, or again, whether or not it's because you are being directed to taking the right actions and not having to go around in circles. And again, going back to the early days of my journey, when in all honesty, there wasn't anyone really out there supporting health or life coaches. Like when I first started, there was just no one else out there really doing it. And I had to learn as I went. I was lucky that I had a bit of experience from working with social enterprises, and I had a bit of a business hat on anyway in what I was doing as in a paid job. But I still went around the houses quite a bit, to be honest. And I think if I'd worked with someone, if someone had been there for me in the way that I'm there for other people, I feel like I could have made progress a lot quicker, and also avoided some very costly, in terms of time and in terms of money, detours based on the lessons that I've learned over the last 13 years of running an online business. So working with a mentor can really help save you that time and save you that money that you could potentially be wasting just in terms of doing a lot of stuff. That being said, I am also a big believer that I think for most of us, just to get a little bit woo, our business journeys are not just about like, I'm going to start a business, I'm going to start a coaching business, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to get clients, it's all going to be perfect. I often think there's like a genuinely like a personal journey there, and sometimes with the best will in the world, there is a journey that is going to take some time, and your journey will have its own timelines. So just to be totally honest, because like I'm not here to bullshit anyone, yes, I'm selling this stuff, but I'm absolutely not here to pretend it's all like unicorns and rainbows, and $1 million launches and stuff like that. What I'm here to be is to be really brutally honest. And sometimes I think for us to learn a lesson, I sometimes feel like we come into business with a big personal development backpack on, and it's actually important that we go through certain steps to learn the lessons that we need to learn. So sometimes there is that element as well. Often if you're working with a business mentor, that is part of the journey of that, is understanding like actually how is this showing up for you around your own personal development, like what is this bringing up for you and how do you need to work through this. Another reason why business mentoring can be so helpful and why it works is that you are getting that individualized feedback and support. Now I've just mentioned that before, but I think this is a really key thing, and it's something that has really become very, very clear for me in my business, is that I love courses and programs. Like I love them, I create them, I buy them, I get involved in them, and they're great. But they will only ever go so far. And what I've started to realise is that for where I am in my business right now, and certainly in the phase of business that I'm in right now, working with someone one-to-one is what I need, and that's what I'm looking for into 2024, is someone who can take that very individualized look at my business and be like, right, this is what you need to do because I know that this is your goal and this is exactly what you need to do. And it's just that level of individualization that makes a massive difference. So I'm recording this at the back end of the implementation week for a new program that I created called the Coach and Fix. And honestly, I'm so glad that I put this implementation section in where I'm giving people that personalized feedback, because the training that I created was excellent and I've had really amazing feedback on it. But without the feedback, like me looking at people's individual offers and saying, might tweak this, do this differently, change this, how about we bring this in, they would not be as good as what they are at all without that individual feedback. So you can have something that is one size fits all and that gives you really great information, but sometimes there's just another level that is reached when you have that individual feedback on where it is that you're at, and it's just so valuable. And I think that's what you get from working with someone who is a business mentor, who has that experience and who can give you that very practical, like, hands-on support. And that's what I do with my clients. I think it's a really, really great thing to offer people because it makes such a difference over, just doing a course, which, like I say, can be brilliant and you can go off and implement that, but there's often just this extra level above it that you just don't quite get into, I think, when you haven't got that person actually looking at your stuff. Which brings me nicely on to the fact that you will have someone else's eyes on your stuff. That is a qualified opinion. So we can all ask, friends and family to look at our stuff, to look at our website, to give us feedback. But, in the best will in the world, unless they are in this world, unless they have that experience, they are giving you their unqualified opinion, well-meaning, but unqualified opinion. When you work with a business mentor, that is ideally someone who has got a lot of experience in the area of work that you're doing, which is going to be coaching. They can give you, and they can look at your stuff and give you some really useful feedback, ideas for things to change, ideas for things to tweak so that you get better results. This is one of my absolute favourite things. I'm really starting to realise that as I go forward. One of my absolute favourite things to do is to look at people's websites, people's offers, people's marketing platforms, people's marketing strategies, all the notes that you have. Like, I've got so many clients at the moment who are sending me like, Laura, is it okay if I send you like the notes that I've been making and the Google Docs and, the Pages documents with all of their notes and stuff, and then I can really look at that and be like, right, okay, this is amazing, like that's so good, let's tweak that. Have you thought about doing this way? It's just really great, and I love doing that so much, and I know it makes such a big difference for people. It's just a fantastic thing. So having someone else's eyes on all of your stuff and someone else's feedback can just be so magical in your business. And again, a link to that as well, it's like sometimes you just need someone to see what you can't see. And for the the best will in the world, like we've all done it. Have you ever written something and then and there's like it's full of typos, but you just didn't see the typos because you were just so close to it, and then you get someone to proofread it and it's like, well, have you noticed that there's like all these typos? It's a bit like that in your business, and you can be the best writer in the world, but if you're so close to it, sometimes there's just stuff that you will not see, and having that outside opinion, that someone else there to see the things that you can't see. So what a lot of my clients will say is that I'm really good at coming up with ideas for people, but I am absolutely rubbish at coming up with ideas for myself. I struggle so much more, but that's because I've got this outside perspective for them, and I can see, and often it's confidence, but sometimes we just can't see what we can't see. And sometimes we need someone with a different perspective, someone who can really see our brilliance. I mean, this is the thing often, I work with the most amazing, passionate, talented coaches, and they just can't see their own brilliance half the time. But I get to see that, and I get to reflect that back to them. And, that has benefits in terms of like the ideas or the perspectives that I might bring to them that they would have never thought about. So just having that different look at things and having someone to kind of see the things that you aren't seeing, and whether or not that's things that are not going the way that they should be going, or highlighting something that you should be doing differently, or there's all sorts of different ways that this comes up. It might be that your boundaries are like not very good and you're getting a bit burnt out, and you might just need someone to point that out and just say, hey, like, I've noticed that perhaps you need some stronger boundaries in your business with your clients. I'm noticing that you're starting to get a bit burnt out. How about we work on this now? So there's all of these different elements that can come into it as well. But yeah, having someone to see the things that you can't see can be super valuable and really help you improve your business results. Another one of the most simple benefits of working with someone in your business, working with a business mentor, is that you get to talk about your business with someone who actually gets it. So like I was saying before, we all have amazing family and friends who are very well-meaning and who can give us feedback on things, and we can talk about our business, but often they just don't get it, and it's with the best will in the world, But if they are not experienced in this industry and they're not an ideal client, they don't fit your ideal client profile, then I would say that their advice is probably not the best advice to take. Although they probably know you really, really well, and perhaps actually the advice that they might give you about how you are doing, maybe if you're getting stressed or anxious and things like that, that can be really valuable for them. But overall, if it's things like what you do in your business or how your business is working or not working, they might not be the best people to ask. And actually having a business mentor who you can come to and say, like, I need to just talk about this. Can I talk this through, please? I offer Voxer chats, like unlimited Voxer chats in all of my packages that include one-to-one stuff. And it's just such a lovely way, you might be working on something and think, oh shit, like I'm not really sure what I should do about this, or I'm getting really stuck here and I'm getting like all in my head, I need to talk this through. And you've got me on the end of the phone to just quickly pop me a message and talk it through so that you're not stuck in your own head as much. And I think that can be incredibly valuable when you're running a coaching business, just to have that person. One of the things that I really struggled with when I went to start my own coaching business and being on my own was that I didn't have like a manager. It sounds really, really weird. Like, I actually thrive on this now that I don't have a boss. But I really struggled with the fact that I don't have someone to tell me if I'm doing it right. And I think it takes time. Like, we all want to feel like we don't need someone to, in all honesty, I mean, I'll get onto this again in a sec. We don't need anyone to tell us that we're doing things right or wrong, but it feels good to have that. And I really missed that when I first became self-employed and set my company up. I was like, how do I know if I'm doing it right? I just felt very unsupported. And I think when you work with a business mentor, when you have some kind of somewhere where you can go that is quite high touch, where they actually know you in your business. There's lots of different programs and things out there, but when you get beyond a certain number of people in it, like the coach, they're not going to know much about you and your business, in all honesty. And I just think there is something truly, truly wonderful about working with someone who actually gets you in your business and can be that person, like not your manager, not your boss, but can be that reassuring person that you can go to and say, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. Can you give me some reassurance, please? And that is really, really magical and beneficial. And as I've said, a big part of working with someone one-to-one in a business mentor relationship is that they will get to know you and your business intimately. They will know all the ins and outs of your business, often like what's going on for you, what your goals are and things like that. And again, as I've just said, that can't be replicated in a program that has like, more than 20 people in it. And I mentioned 20 because that's always been the number that I've thought about capping Wholehearted Business at, because I want to be able to provide that in not just my one-to-one mentoring, obviously, but in my group program too. So they can be amazing, other programs obviously can be amazing and you can learn a lot from them. But if you're wanting that It's that level of support and that level of like, this person actually knows my business and they know me. And when I've worked with mentors in the past, like that has just been so helpful, as someone has really like understood where I'm at and what I've got going on and what's happening in the business. And it's just a really wonderful benefit that really does help you get results, because ultimately this is all about, are you going to get more clients out of this? Are you going to make more money? Are you going to, and I'll talk about return on investment as well, but it can just be, super, super helpful to have that. And again, all of these things kind of flow into one another. I think part of this is about having greater confidence and self-trust as well. And like I say, I think from working with a business mentor, you get to be able to take those baby steps in terms of, I'm doing stuff in my business and I don't feel that I need to check that with someone all the time, but I've got that support there. It's like, it kind of bridges that gap a little bit, and I think that can be really wonderful. Also, I think a good business mentor will support you to connect more with your intuition. So this is something, again, that I'm really aware of and that I've had feedback from clients who have said, you help me dip into what feels right and to use that. And I am like a generator in human design, so I'm very kind of like gut orientated. So, the level of which this is going to resonate with you might be different depending on all sorts of different things. But I think being able to listen to yourself and listen to your own intuition when you're making business decisions and have that self-trust, I think a good business mentor will cultivate that. And that is a skill and something that you can use in your business for years to come. And again, I think any good business mentor, and certainly the way that I approach my work, is that I want you to have a business that is not just here for the next 6 months, but I want you to have a business that is here for the next 6 years. Well, I was going to say 60 years, might be pushing it a bit there, but many, many years down the line, I want you to have a sustainable business that works for you. That is really, really what I want for you. So that's always something that is in my mind, like, am I helping you develop the skills and, what it is that you need, the tools and resources, like those internal resources that you need to be able to take away so that you don't have to work with me forever. And this even goes way back to when I was working in the charity sector. It was like we were always told we want to get people to the point where they can go off themselves. Like, we don't want to have people relying on us all the time. And obviously people's learning things shift and people need support in different ways and people benefit from ongoing support. But I want people to be cultivating those skills and things through my business mentoring that will take them into the future of their businesses as well. Something else I wanted to talk about in terms of business mentoring and how it can support you is multidimensional return on investment. Because I think when anyone is making a decision to invest in business mentoring or business coaching or any kind of support, part of what we're thinking about is probably, am I going to see a return on investment in this? And the way that I like to look at this, and again, I'm not here to bullshit anybody, I can't guarantee anybody who works with me any particular result because I'm not a fairy godmother with a wand. I wish I was. But when I look at return on investment and when I think about return on investment for people, I am really confident that they will at least see their return on the investment that they've made. If you are charging, let's say, £1,500 for a coaching package or $1,500 for a coaching package, if working with me helps you attract 2 more clients, then you've made that investment back. So it's really easy for me to feel very, very confident that anyone who chooses to work with me will see that investment returned. But on top of that very, practical, monetary-based return on investment, there's a multitude of other ways that you will see your investment return to you if you work with a business mentor or coach. Because it's not just about the money, it's also about how heard and seen you felt, the business skills that you might be developing for the future, the changes that you might have made to how the business is set up. Just having the opportunity to sit and talk to someone about your business. I mean, I say this to lots of my clients, is that whether it's coaching or mentoring, at the most basic level, what everyone is going to get, and you can guarantee everyone is going to get, is they're going to have time with you to talk about their stuff. Like, you can guarantee that. You can't necessarily guarantee other outcomes, but you can guarantee that people are going to have that time to talk about their stuff, and that is valuable in and of itself. So it's worth remembering that there's all these different versions of return on investment, and I like to think of it as a multi-dimensional return on investment as well. So like I say, while I think business mentoring, you should expect your monetary return on investment. Also, what I want to say as well, and again, not here to bullshit anyone, sometimes that return on investment is outside of the timescale of the actual coaching or mentoring relationship. So sometimes what will happen, depending on the stage of business that you're at, is that you will do a lot of work with someone in 6 months, but actually the monetary return starts to come a little bit further down the line once everything starts kicking in and developing in the right way. So I think that's a really helpful thing to think about. And again, I could sit here and be like, yeah, of course, you can sit here and work with me in my one-to-one, mentoring program, and I will help you make $1 squillion and it'll be all amazing. And I could sit here and say all that, but it wouldn't be genuine. And like, this probably just costs me money in my business because I'm not out here, promising wildly crazy things, but I'd rather be honest and true to myself. So return on investment, multidimensional. Yes, I think you should expect to get your money back, but also that return on investment might come outside of the window of time that you work with someone, because that's just life and that's just how things work out. And like I say, I always think there's a level above any of this that is, you are on your own journey and you will have your own timelines, and things are sometimes meant to happen the way they're meant to happen, which, is one of those things. But I think there's so many things that you can do from working with a business mentor to shift and change that and to become aware of things. Sometimes, if you want to get woo about it, just having that awareness and understanding of where these things might be starting to show up for you can be really, really interesting and expansive as well. And then some of the other things that business mentoring can help you with, I think it is really about looking at the very tangible outcomes that you can expect. And I think sometimes this is where, in terms of how I work as a business mentor, this is a big focus for me for several reasons, but primarily because I like this kind of way of working, and that is having very clear, tangible outcomes. So while I've talked about multidimensional return on investment, and I've talked about getting your money back and things like that, and I've talked about all the other things, what I really like to do in my business mentoring practice is to make sure that we are looking at very tangible, physical things that we get as a result of working together. So for example, that might be a new sales funnel. Last week I was talking about sales funnels. Let's say we build out a sales funnel together. That could be a really tangible outcome. It might be that you completely revamp your one-to-one coaching offer. That would be a really tangible value thing that you would get out of business mentoring. It might be that we write up and plan out a completely new marketing strategy. Those are some of the very tangible, like physical things that I think you can get from working with a business mentor like myself that will, again, have a lot of value, not just now, but going forward into the future as well. So that kind of tangibility, I think, is a really powerful thing that can come through from business mentoring too. Another thing that is connected with this as well is, just like with coaching, working with a business mentor can help you gain momentum, it can help you show up more, it can help you implement and take more action. All of the ways that you might be keeping yourself small and stuck and overwhelmed and be procrastinating and be, and feeling like you're not good enough and all of that stuff. Obviously, business mentoring is amazing for helping you bust through all of that and actually be starting to take action, be starting to look at, the places that you keep yourself small and stuck, be starting to gain that momentum and actually implementing stuff. Because if we're not implementing stuff, often what people will say, well, I don't want to work with someone because I'm busy implementing stuff. But actually, like, sometimes you need that support to actually get into the implementation and to know that you're implementing the right things as well. Because again, like I say, if you're not getting that highly individualized feedback, sometimes that's a bit tricky to know if you are actually implementing the right things. So there we have it. Like, there's a big long list of all the amazing things that come with working with a business mentor. Obviously, I am a business mentor. I've got no shame in this shameless plug where I'm talking all about how I help people. I really hope that's been helpful. Like, if anything, if you're absolutely not interested in business mentoring right now, I hope if anything, you can look at this piece of content that I've created talking about this and take that into your own business and maybe do something similar. You don't talk about how coaching works to benefit people. You can absolutely do that. Hopefully it's helped you kind of see the different ways that mentoring can help. And if you are interested in working with me for the future, we're just about to go into 2024 and I have some slots available for my one-to-one mentoring package. Also, Wholehearted Business has slots available if you are a newer coach. And again, that's still a very, very high touch program. Like I say, I don't believe I'll ever have more than 20 people in that program, because I like to really know people's businesses and really know what they've got going on and actually give them that really high level of support. And then I've also got a couple of slots. I don't usually release it at this time of year, but for Get It Done, which is the package of support that I've got, that is really very, very much on the tangible outcomes. So it's very much about, you want to launch this, or you want to create this, or you want to do this. It's like, that's very, very tangible. So I'll put links to all of those things if you are interested. Again, hopefully, I'm recording this on the back of last week's episode, so hopefully I will still have some slots available this year for the holistic coaching business audits. If you want to get one of those booked up, I will put the link in the description. I'll put the link to all of those different packages and options as well in the description. And just to say as well, if you are like, I like Laura, hopefully you like me, guys. I like Laura, I'd love to work with her in some way, shape or form. I'm looking at our options, none of them are quite right, or the budget's not quite right, or whatever. Please do get in touch. Really do get in touch, because if there's something that I can do, if there's a way that I can help you in a one-to-one capacity, I will try and do that. I will try and figure out a way of helping you, no matter what your budget is. I mean, obviously within some restrictions, because I've got to have my own boundaries, but within whatever I can do, I will try and find a way of supporting you and helping you. So if you're looking at all those options and nothing's quite right, nothing's within your budget, get in touch, and I will really honestly see what I can do to see if there's something else that I can create for you that will help. So yeah, I hope that's been interesting. And like I say, even just like recording this episode and doing the blog post for it, I was like, God, yeah, I love what I do. It's so awesome. I love that I get to help these coaches. I love that I get to do all of this. I love that I get to have this role for people. Like, it's just awesome. It's amazing. So I hope that's been useful, guys. Just a bit of a heads up, we've got a couple of things coming up. So we've got another 3 episodes before the end of the year, before I take a little midwinter break. And I'm going to be talking a bit about planning. So we've got some episodes coming up around that. There is going to be a 2024 planning episode where I take you through a planning process for 2024. So there's going to be a couple of episodes related to that. So do stay tuned for that. I'm sending you guys so much love. The world is a really difficult place to exist in sometimes, and I'm just, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being part of my business and part of my community. And I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate every single, listen and view and person who reads my blog. Like, it means a lot to me. It really does. So thank you for being here. As always, you know where to find me. Get in touch. Let me know what you think of this episode. You can message me on Instagram. I'm @wholeheartedlylaura. And I will see you next week. Take care, guys. Bye.